What's up guys, in today's video I want to kind of go in here and show you a very simple way to add different sized bevels on your object that not only looks natural but looks a bit more like you'd see in real life almost. Now what I'm going to do here, instead of just using like a generic chamfer or a generic bevel like most people would use, you can actually add a bit of variation to this by using something called a variable radius fillet. These are difficult to do in Blender, but they are possible, and I'm going to show you how right here. So let's say I had a loop right there, and then maybe a loop here. What I could do is I could go in, I could bevel that, maybe bevel this, and then bevel this right here. And then obviously I could, move this around, move this one around as well. You kind of get the idea. Now, what I see a lot of people try to do, and this is completely incorrect, and I'll show you why. What a lot of people try to do here is, say they wanted to taper this face. What they'll do is they'll scale this in. The reason this is not a good idea is because notice when I scale this in, this starts bending this polygon here on the top. And whenever you bend polygons, it's just going to cause shading distortions and it's not going to look very good. Instead, what we want to do is more or less something like this. We want to maintain the flatness while also creating a taper. So what you actually want to do in that case is slide it just on one axis. So in that case the X, in this case the Z. And you can either eyeball this, or there's another way to actually do this. What you can actually do is you can go in and you could just, for example, let's go to vertex snap, extrude this up, snap it there, and then I could just go in and move the 3D cursor right to that area. Delete that out. And now what I can actually do is, instead of scaling this based on the median point, which is the default, you can press the period key on the number pad or go up here. What you can actually do is change over to 3D cursor. So now it's going to scale to that 3D cursor point, but it's going to maintain the flatness of this face right here and this face right here. That's the proper way to actually do that. So I could do the same thing on this area. I would definitely need to make sure we're not scaling that on the Y, so I can press Shift Y just to constrain that. So I could scale up to that point, and you kind of get the idea. And then same here, if you wanted to kind of scale that in, you could go Shift Y, and very, very similar type of results. So that's kind of the first way to do it. Now, another way I would recommend doesn't involve the actual 3D cursor here. What you can do instead is you can use a tool called Mesh Machine. So if you go into Mesh Machine, I think this is like 40 bucks on Gumroad or wherever it's being sold. I use this personally because it's faster. So you can actually go in and you can change the width manually, but you can also taper by pressing the T key. And then you can press F to flip that taper. This is a lot faster because you don't have to move the cursor around, and you can literally just press a button and it's going to actually add this in with extreme accuracy. And you can do this to really any side here that you want, right? So there you go. Now, the next issue a lot of people have is when they want to turn this, type of result here into an actual fillet or a bevel. Now, I do this in Mesh Machine because I don't know of an easier vanilla way to do this, and if there is, it's just going to be a headache. We can actually do here, once you set up these different size bevels, so for example, I could go in here and bevel this. I'm going to make this taper here even larger, as a matter of fact, just to really emphasize this. So I could go in, I could add in a bevel there, bevel there, bevel there, and then bevel there as well. So now I have this type of result, but what I can actually do is I can go in, I can press Fuse and Mesh Machine, and that will essentially turn that in to a fillet. And I have full control over the segments as well. I can scroll up, I can scroll down. You kind of get the idea. And now we have a very fancy bevel just like this. And just to kind of remove these shading issues, we can go in, add some loops here, just like that. And now we kind of have a different sized bevel like you see right here. Now, another thing I'll see people doing, which is incorrect, but I'm going to show you here with a different example. What I'll see some people doing is they'll add in, for example, a bevel like this to begin with, and then a bevel like this. And what they'll try to do I saw somebody doing this in my Discord server a while back. They'll try to go in and then scale this, and then scale this, and then scale this a little bit, and then scale this a little bit. And although this kind of works, not really, but it kind of works, number one, you're bending these polygons, which I already told you is not a good idea. And number two, even if you do that trick that I showed you with the 3D cursor, you're going to have to do it to each individual set here, which is just a pain in the ass, going to take a long time. I wouldn't recommend this. And I also wouldn't recommend the proportional editing, because when I turn that on, it's kind of the same idea, and then it stretches it, and even if I constrain that, it's still going to bend the polygons a bit. This is a bit better because, for example, I could go up here, I could move the 3D cursor to that point, so cursor to selected, right? And then I could actually go in, use proportional editing, right? But I just need to change this here to the 3D cursor. So just do Shift X. That would actually work okay, as you can see. So Shift X just to kind of do it that way. And you could expand that up. That'll kind of work, but it's still not my preferred way to do it. Not to mention you'd have to go back in here, turn off proportional editing, and just flatten that face. A bit annoying. The way I would recommend doing this instead, I'm just going to undo everything here, is I would go in, I would use Mesh Machine, I would go to Unfuse, which is going to turn this into a chamfer, and then I would use the change width with a taper, so you can flip that, and then you can go in here and expand this side as well, and then you can go in and you can go to Fuse to basically turn that back into a bevel. So now we have essentially the same result with way less keystrokes, a lot quicker, and you have a basically an identical result right there as well. Now, by the way, guys, if you want our help with any of this, whether it's modeling, using the add-ons, maybe you want our one-on-one help personally, go to the link in the top of the description and join our Hard Surface Academy program. This is where you'll get access to every single training program we've made for Blender. You'll get anytime one-on-one calls with us and unlimited DM support, as well as weekly live calls. So if you want to learn more about that, click the link in the top of the description. And another thing I wanted to bring up here, I saw this post on Reddit. They wanted to make a shape, I'll put it on the screen, kind of like this. The way you would actually do that is very simple. I wouldn't recommend a straight up vertex bevel because it looks terrible, and I can't actually go in here and really bevel this. It's just going to be a mess, and even when I shade this smooth, it just doesn't look good. But this is more or less the shape that we want to create. So instead, what I would recommend doing for that type of result is I would go in here, and then what I would do is I would go in, I would add in my bevel here, kind of like that, and then, or I'm sorry, sub D, not bevel, and then press I to inset again, these individual faces just like that. And then what I could actually do here is I could go in and I could add in a crease just to really harden that area. And if you want a bit more control, maybe you want to make this corner a little bit smaller, you could add in a loop there, and then a loop right there as well. And that's basically going to give you a very similar result to what that post was going for. So that's kind of like a very quick and kind of easy way to do that if that's what you're going for. You could also go in here, you could inset this to kind of tighten that up even more if you want to do that, and you kind of get the idea. Now another thing I could do is I could go in here and I could inset this area, right? So I could inset that. You could inset this area as well. So it's maintaining the quads on the shape, but we're getting a lot more of a tighter result here. So obviously I know the sub D is pretty high on there, but you kind of get the idea, and that's kind of how I would make that type of bevel very, very easily, and just a matter of a few clicks. So that's it for today's video, guys. Very, very easy way to add in different sized bevels and different types of bevels on your shapes inside of Blender. Now again, guys, if you want to learn our entire hard surface modeling workflow and get direct access to us for help anytime, check out our Academy program and the link in the top of the description. This will give you access to every single training program we've ever made. You'll get anytime one-on-one calls with us if you have a question. You'll get DM support and also weekly live Q&A calls. So we're basically there giving you the training, and we're giving you the help as well when you need it. So again, that is linked in the top of the description. You can go ahead and check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.